everyone, good morning. Welcome to Market Fatafat right here on ET Now. This is the show where we get you a crisp and comprehensive wrap of the stocks that you need to keep your eye out on in trade today. I'm Mubina Kapasi, and joining me for the next 30 minutes is all of our research analysts as well as our technical expert, Sameer Chavan from Angel Broking, joining in on the show. But before we go to the top stocks, take a look at the markets. We've certainly come off quite a bit from the day's high, almost about 40 odd points gone from 10,645 in the early hours of trade, and now we're just higher by approximately 0.2%, with the Sensex now more or less flatlining. But the broader markets are in the red. The small cap index, in fact, has lost approximately 0.5%. But without any further ado, let's kickstart the show by telling you what exactly is it that we are watching out for. And the very first stock is Titan. The company, remember, reported a sort of a mixed bag because on the margin front they did disappoint, but for the top line they've done very well. Even the jewelry revenue growth managed to surpass expectations, coming in at approximately 28 to 29%. And that, I think, is something that caused the street to heave a sigh of relief, because do remember, the corresponding quarter was not the best one when it comes to jewelry revenue growth. The management further has guided for good growth. They are seeing steady margins growth as well going forward. Watches business, as usual, has seen great Q2 margins. They have, however, spoken that there may be a bit of restrictions in the way these margins could expand. But nonetheless, Morgan Stanley has also said that the company sounds like it's on track to achieve the 25% jewelry revenue growth guidance. So I think that as well is a positive, because do remember the company had in the past as well said that it looks a little dicey as to whether or not they'll be able to reach that 25% guidance, given that there are no wedding dates. But this time around, the management has sounded off quite positive. Moving on, Cummins as a stock on our radar. The stock is at a fresh 7-month high. Kunal, what are you observing on the charts?
Yes, a fresh 7-month high, double bottom pattern on the daily charts, and more or less like a swing breakout on the weekly charts as well. So everything seems to be turning out positive for Cummins, and the stock has been holding above its 50 and 200-day moving average. So in terms of price, in terms of indicators, I think the stock should continue to ride higher from current levels. 840 to 850 could now be the next target range for Cummins. Stop loss could be kept at 777 for a fresh buy.
All right, so that's Cummins India for you. Meantime, Karanya, Eicher Motors is one nifty company we are watching out for in terms of earnings.
That's right. Earnings are likely to be, it's an okay set that one is expecting, because do remember, Royal Enfield's volume growth only has been 3.5% in the quarter gone by. VCV volumes have also been okay. So on back of that, we're expecting a revenue growth of 12% at 2,430 crores. Profits could be higher by 10.5% at 570 odd crore rupees. EBITDA is seen at 770 crores, up about 13%. Margins are likely to be flat. Do remember, this is primarily because of increased other expenses, and also because of higher expenses on back of new product launches. That's something that's likely to be a bit of an overhang on the margins front, and margins therefore could be slightly flattish. One needs to understand what the demand outlook is looking like for Royal Enfield going forward. How are the inventory levels? Which are the markets that are seeing most traction? Which are the markets which are most hit because of the recent consumer slowdown as well?
So Eicher Motors, ahead of the numbers, is down by approximately 1% odd. IEX as well delivered its second quarter numbers on Friday post-market hours. Vivek, how were the numbers?
Well, Mubina, this particular quarter, what analysts are saying is that numbers were slightly below what the street was expecting. But despite that, on a year-on-year basis, the numbers have been very strong. Remember, the company has margins in excess of almost 80%, and this is something that's extremely strong. The other key development that has happened during the quarter is that the regulator has actually given IEX the ability to go ahead and control its own pricing on whatever transaction happens on its own exchange, and the management also went ahead and clarified the same in the interview to us today. As far as IEX is concerned, reasonably good quarter, slightly below what the street was anticipating.
Okay, slightly below what the street was expecting, and the stock as well is not doing much today in trade. It's just more or less flatlining. A bit of red is witnessed on the screen for a Jindal Steel. It's down by a little over 1%. Siddharth, what are you observing here?
The start was quite good, in fact, for the stock, and if you can see on your screen, it went up and then there was a sudden fall. So from higher levels, the fall is quite steep. This is backed by formation of short positions. Volumes in both the segments are pretty high, so watch out for the same.
Okay, so that's Jindal Steel for you. Moving on, Sameer, Welcome to the show. You have Mahanagar Gas on your radar, which is showing signs of a positive momentum today. What are you observing?
See, clearly this stock is consolidating of late. Recently we saw good move in its peer counters IGL, which rallied substantially from low levels. However, this stock has been consolidating in this period. Now, if I have to see any particular level, then 865 is the level to watch out for. Once this stock surpasses 865 on a closing basis, then it would trigger some short-term optimism in this stock. So as of now, one should trade with a positive bias, and once the stock surpasses 865, then it would unfold higher levels of 880, 885.
Okay, so Mahanagar Gas is gaining a little over 1% in trade. Shankara Bilcon, meantime, has delivered its second quarter numbers. It's a bit weak because the profitability has declined, and how 47% of a decline, a dip on a year-on-year basis in the profits. The top line, however, has grown by 12.6% at 643.9 crore rupees. But really, the EBITDA performance, the operational profitability has disappointed, and how because the EBITDA has declined 24.3% at 31.1 crore rupees, which has caused the margins as well to compress significantly on a year-on-year basis. It's no wonder that you are witnessing the stock reaction come by today in trade in response to the second quarter numbers. Moving on, here's an ET Now exclusive. India's largest cafe chain, Coffee Day Enterprises, founded by billionaire investor GV Siddhartha, is planning a mega restructuring exercise. We have my colleague Ajay Sharma, who has picked up some exclusive details of the likely transaction. Ajay, Coffee Day Enterprises has come off significantly from the day's high. What exactly is it that you're picking up?
Well, we are gathering from our sources that Coffee Day Enterprises, the listed company of GV Siddhartha, the founder, the India's largest coffee chain, actually is going for a mega restructuring exercise. Investment banking sources tell us that right now the company has Cafe Coffee Day, which is the largest coffee chain in the country, as well as many other businesses like logistics, financial services. There's a tech park, there are luxury resorts. There's also a stake, about 14% stake in Mindtree Consulting. So this company is usually treated like a holding company. In fact, when the company got listed, then too the stock fell and the market started assigning a kind of a holding company discount to this particular company. Now we understand that advisors from KPMG, Citi and Mangalchand, the corporate lawyer group, Amarchand Mangaldas, we understand that are advising the company, and GV Siddhartha himself is working very closely on making a kind of a new structure in which all the non-coffee businesses will be demerged separately into a company and perhaps could be listed at a later date. And this company will completely remain as a coffee QSR company, and this will help get better valuation and hence kind of a value unlocking exercise for the shareholders of the company as well. We understand that this could be an announcement which should be coming very soon, as soon as in about a week to 10 days time. And we tried to contact the company and get a comment on this. They of course refused to comment, being in the silent period, but we understand that there's a mega restructuring exercise which is in the works at Coffee Day Enterprises in order to have better shareholder value for the company.
And Coffee Day Enterprises, hence, is a stock that we are watching out for today on our radar. It's an ET Now exclusive, and you see the stock price as well react when we first broke the story. Over to the next stock on our radar, and that's Sobha. Delivered a robust set of Q2 numbers. Vivek, what's the stock doing today?
Well, if you're talking about Sobha Q2 has been spectacular. In fact, if you're talking about what a lot of the real estate names have been doing, it's been very, very weak. But Sobha Developers, has managed to buck the trend. The company with its presence in the south of India, especially the Bangalore market, as well as its Kochi, Kochi project is doing really well. So Sobha is coming out with a very good set of numbers, and a lot of analysts have actually gone ahead and upgraded their stance on Sobha Developers today.
Sobha Limited, it's higher by 0.7%, but again, like the rest of the market, this one too has come off quite a bit from the day's high. So that Indian Bank is one of those, companies that has done pretty well in quarterly numbers, but this time around we did see quite a disappointing set. The decline has continued today as well in this one.
Mubina, you said it right that this is one of that PSU banks which is considered the best among the mid-cap PSU banks, and results have been disappointing, and that's the reason you are seeing that this is second consecutive day that there is steep correction. Correction is backed by high volumes and it is also backed by formation of short positions. Now 210 and 212, this 2 rupee zone is decent support for the stock from where it has bounced back before. But the way positions are getting formed, it seems like the support zone might get challenged. So no respite on the stock as of now.
Okay, so that's Indian Bank, by the way, that's the stock he's talking about. And yes, United Spirits is the next bank, next stock rather, that we have on our radar. Kunal, we are witnessing an uptick today in trade.
Yes, Mobina, and that uptick has been following, or rather been followed by a very strong set of upward trend for United Spirits. Now, in terms of breakout, the stock has already confirmed the 200 EMA breakout, but there was a mild consolidation, and the consolidation lasted for only 3 or 4 days. And today you've seen the stock breaking out yet again. So, all of these patterns and the price or the persistence of the price to break out on a regular basis indicates that the stock should continue to ride higher. Would suggest a buy in United Spirits with a near-term target closer to 670, stop loss at 622.
So 1.6% higher for United Spirits. Moving on, Tata Motors, auto sale numbers trickling in from this one. We have the global retail sales from Jaguar Land Rover that have come in and they continue to remain weak. And they've also in fact said that the JLR will have a tough quarter 3 too due to inventory corrections. They've also flagged off in their press release that the China business has particularly remained weak with a 40% decline coming by, more than 40% decline coming by in the retail auto sales in that geography on a year-on-year basis. So the weak trend, the declining trend continues in Jaguar Land Rover for Tata Motors, and hence you are seeing the stock price as well correct today in trade. It's more than 2.7% lower, and of course investors will have to brace themselves for a bit of weakness even in the third quarter on account of inventory corrections. Moving on, Karanya, VST Tillers has delivered their second quarter numbers and it does not look like a good set.
It does not. In fact, on all counts, they've seen a degrowth and a massive one. Revenues, however, 144 crores odd versus 175 crores, but profits have halved from nearly 19 crores to a 9.2 crores. EBITDA has gone down from 24 crores to just about 3 crore rupees. Margin compression, now look at that, 13.8% is what they had clocked in the second quarter of last year, and this time it's come down to 1.9%. And of course, the kind of stock price that we're looking at, 8.8% lower, is completely owing to a massively weak set of numbers in the quarter gone by.
And 8.8% lower for a VST Tiller, certainly reacting to those numbers. We'll take a very short break right here in the show, a breather on Market Fatafat, but come right back as we're going to continue the countdown. Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat right here on ET Now, and without any further ado, let's continue with the countdown right here on the show. Jet Airways is going to be something that we are definitely going to watch out for. Vivek, fundraising options going to be discussed today.
Well, that's right. You can't keep this particular stock out of the news. The fact remains that today will be the earnings will be declared today. But more importantly, what the market will keep its eye on is the fact that the company that is facing such a severe liquidity crunch, unable to even pay its pilots on time, what the market is actually anticipating is that so much of news flow surrounding stake sale options, even Tatas are being said to be interested in acquiring a stake. So all kinds of fundraising opportunities, options are on the table, and today, we'd be awaiting if any kind of news flow comes in terms of, how much are they selling, what is the management control or any kind of control being, handed over to the new person who's actually going ahead and buying the stake. These are important things to watch out for. Newspaper reports suggest that most likely today there will be an announcement in terms of a stake sale as far as Jet Airways is concerned.
Okay, so that's Jet Airways for you. Stake sale announcement as well is something that we are watching out for. So right now all doors are open. Siddharth, Tata Elixir, you for very long flagged this stock off. What is it that you're observing today?
Well, it's underperforming, Mobina, and we are seeing formation of short position. And this underperformance is on back of Nifty IT up by 1.75%. So you can understand this stock-specific action. In fact, positionally also, we have seen that a lot of the other mid-cap IT names have done well, but Tata Elxsi is seeing selling on rise kind of pressure. So fresh formation of short positions won't augur well for the stock.
Okay, so that's Tata Elxsi for you, lower by 1.9%, underperforming today despite the good the positive momentum witnessed in the IT index, like Siddharth flagged off. Samit, why do you have M&M Finance on your radar, and what's the outlook there?
See, clearly this stock has managed to give a smart recovery from lower levels after forming a strong base around 360, 370. However, since last 3-4 days, it has been struggling around its daily 89 EMA, which was placed around 435. Today, the stock managed to surpass this hurdle and is now trading well above that. If I just look at the volume activity in cash segment, it has picked up substantially. So we expect this stock to head towards a 200-day moving average, which is placed around 460. So one should trade with a positive bias, and now 435, 430 would act as a very strong support.
Okay, so there you have it. That is M&M Financial for you, higher by 2.6%. Meantime, IFGL Refractories has as well come out with its Q2 numbers. Revenues were higher by a decent 10%, but the EBITDA margin expansion was limited to just about 30 basis points at 13.9%, but profits were higher by 47%. Look at the way the stock has moved today in trade. Very interesting trend actually. After being locked in the upper circuit, just about half an hour ago, it witnessed a sharp dip, and now it's lower by 4.5%. Karania Wockhardt has as well come out with its Q2 numbers, where the bottom line, the loss has only ballooned.
It has ballooned, but Mubina, the reason why there's so much of an upsurge in the stock price is because on the operational front, they've shown a very strong recovery, a very strong rebound. If you look at the revenues, they've gone up almost 10%. Loss, like you said, yes, it has widened from 3.3 crores to 22.8 crores. But EBITDA has grown. It's come in at 67.4 crores versus 21.3 crores. Margins have seen a very significant expansion as well, 6% versus a 2.1%. So on back of the turnaround that they've seen on the operational performance is why the stock is surging away.
Okay, so that's Wockhardt for you, excuse me. It's higher by 7.6%. Vivek, Balakrishna Industries had seen some negative news come by, which caused the stock to tank significantly. Today, it seems seeing some recovery.
That's right, Mubina. I remember Balakrishna Industries for the second consecutive quarter in a row actually went ahead and cut its volume guidance, which saw the stock post Q1 as well as Q2 see a complete derating. However, today HSBC has come out with a note given post the entire stock price correction. They believe that at this point of time, valuations have reached a slightly more attractive level. However, what they're saying is that they're looking at it from a much longer term. What they're saying is the near-term triggers are still missing as far as the stock is concerned. They also believe that the drought as well as the currency volatility, these are the factors that actually impacted Q2 earnings. And what they're saying is the company structurally, they believe in the story, and they also believe that some of the volume guidance that they've actually said, it may not be as bad as what the company has actually gone ahead and warned analysts. So they believe in the longer term story, but they've gone ahead and trimmed their EPS estimates to slightly lower levels.
All right, Siddharth, why is India Cements on your radar meantime?
Well, the stock is adding a lot of short positions, that's the first thing. And, look at the volumes, look at the kind of fall which stock is witnessing. So short positions and high volumes, stock down 6%, that's the only reason why it's in my list.
Okay, that's India Cements for you. Sugar stocks, meantime, are throwing up a very mixed trend this morning. Sri Renuka is down in trade. However, stocks like Dhampur Sugar are doing pretty well. Kunal, you have Balrampur Chini on your radar?
So yes, I think gradually most of these sugar stocks, they are rising on the back of some extremely strong volumes. Now the volume in the last few months for sugar stocks have been exceedingly high. The stock prices have moved up higher. And for Balrampur Chini, there has been a golden crossover where the 50 DMA has crossed the 200 moving averages, and the stock is gradually moving up higher. So all of these indicates that this positivity should continue from a short-term target. 120 is a target which I am eyeing on Balrampur Chini. Would recommend a buy. Stop loss at 105.
So 1.7% higher for a Balrampur Chini. Meantime, here's a stock we don't flag off very often, and that's Premier Explosives. The company announced that they have received the arms license from the Arms License Issuance Authority, Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, for the manufacture of medium caliber ammunition and large caliber ammunition, as well as sub-assemblies for ammunition and various other products thereof at their Greenfield Kattapalli plant. And with the receipt of these new licenses, the company has said that new avenues will open up for the company and definitely benefit the company in the long run, and hence you are seeing this double-digit uptick coming by in the stock price. Karanya, what's the news with respect to Lupin?
Well, Lupin just informed the exchanges about receiving an EIR from the US FDA. This is for their Nagpur plant, and this of course comes in post the completion of a pre-approval inspection, which is also known as PAI, for its phenytoin sodium extended release 100 mg capsules, which was carried out in the month of September. The inspection was carried out by the US FDA in the month of September, and now that they have received it, it's been concluded without any observations, is why we're seeing the stock also perk up in trade.
Okay, so that's Lupin for you, 1.8% higher today in trade. Pharma continues to be in focus. Vivek, what's the view on Dr. Reddy's by Nomura?
Well, quite surprising. Nomura actually has gone through the Form 483 that we flagged off on Friday. What they're saying is that even though there are 5 repeat observations, they believe that the severity of the observations compared to both the Form 483 as well as the warning letter need not be as bad as what one is anticipating. They've actually maintained their buy stance on the stock, and they believe that although they've actually gone ahead and extended the timeline by which they expect Duvara facility to get cleared by the US FDA, they've shifted the timeline to almost FY20, but they believe that the impact on per share would only be around 14 rupees a share. So at that point of time, they believe Duvara at this point of time is not so important. Most of the formulations as well as the ANDAs would be shifted to other facilities and other sites, and which is why they believe that Dr. Reddy at this point of time provides a good risk reward, which is why they've maintained their buy stance.
And 0.9% higher for Dr. Reddy's on the back of that news. Siddharth, IRB Infra, what are you witnessing over there in the way the stock is moving today in trade, because it's higher by more than 3.5%?
Well, price volume breakout is pretty likely over here, and if you look at volumes not just in cash market but also in futures market are pretty high. Mind you, Mobina, we are not seeing any fresh formation of long position, but stock has been underperforming, so it is quite possible that what you're seeing today is blend of fresh formation of long position because the price action is positive, and some element of short covering which is taking this stock higher. So watch out for IRB Infra, a very potent price volume breakout candidate.
So price volume breakout witnessed in an IRB Infra, but unfortunately we are completely out of time on this edition of the show. So many thanks to all of you for joining in. Samit, to you as well for giving us your individual stock strategies. We'll wrap it up on this edition of the show. Coming up next is Markets at Noon, so stay tuned.